and here is episode 2 of the Loan Confession. Guys, we're gonna jump right into today's story without any further ado. Last week we shared how I finally found the business that was thriving. I finally made 6-figure, but had to walk away from that business. I was losing my peace. We left off telling you how one of our clients defaulted on his payday loan, so much so that he owed us so much money in arrears that we had to process a repossession order for that client. Hello, and welcome again to the next episode on Confession. My name is Tanisha. I am your 9-to-5 CEO success mentor, coach, and friend. So our client became a repeat client, almost a fixture in our office, if I may say so. I knew his entire life story at that point. I could also see that there was no way out of the loan cycle that he was in with our company. And as much as I was helping him, I was hurting inside. I was torn inside. I was continuing to process his loans and deducting them from his salary. Broke me. And as much as I was running a 6-figure business, I was losing sleep. I was making impact and everything looked really great on the outside. The demand was increasing and everything was going just the way I planned it. And although I was operating from a place of integrity, there were other institutions that used this opportunity to prey on innocent people who actually was looking for help. I could not come to terms with the fact that I might be labeled as one of those institutions. And I began to have remorse for the business that made me a millionaire. We sent out the repossession order because it was in the agreement. But then I remembered my own story where years ago when I didn't have a choice and I borrowed, I felt the cruelty, the repercussions of not being able to repay my own loan. They came and they took everything. Shared the story with you last week. When the team went to the house or the resident for the gentleman, and I caught up with them before they made entrance to the unit, and I said, Mr. So-and-so, you know why we're here today? And he said yes. And he began to apologize. You know what he said to me? He said, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry that I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. I'm sorry that it had to come to this. Not that I'm unwilling to pay back my loan, but life happened and I cannot catch up. I could feel that lump in my throat. And that was the moment when I knew. That moment I decided that taking everything that that gentleman had on top of everything that he was going through was not something that I would wish on anyone having gone through that experience. I sent the gentleman back to the car, had a conversation with the client, and told him to meet me in my office. Long and short of that story, we did not repossess his possessions. We actually closed out that loan as a bad debt. This was my way of paying it forward in my community. It felt right. It felt good. And I felt at peace. Now, of course, there was this very pompous banking manager that also came to our institution and borrowed and refused to pay our money back to us on our terms and within our conditions. Not because they weren't obligated to pay, but because for some reason they didn't think that a local small girl like me should have that much of a say. That woman gave me hell. So yes, my family and I were looking into other opportunities. We were actually migrating to Canada. I left the business with one of my family members, and me and my family, we migrated to Canada. But yes, if you're in a situation where something doesn't sit well with you, you don't want to impose that on someone else. So yes, guys, yes. I walked away this time. Nobody closed the door on me. Nobody shut me out. I made a decision to walk away from my 6-figure business with the minimum work and maximum return, to go back in alignment with God's word for my life, and to go back to find my peace. This brings us to the end of this 2-part confession series. I shared this journey with all of you to let you know that failure is a part of your destiny. Failure is a part of your calling. And if at first you don't succeed, brush yourself off and try again. I'm so grateful that you tuned in to watch the confession series. And I know that you are wondering what's next. It was my own personal journey, and what you can now look forward to on this channel is confession stories from other women like you who are building on the side while holding down a full-time job. Interviews of success stories, interviews of startup stories, interviews of where they started, where they are now, how it went, how it's doing, and inspiration and advice for you who also want to venture into becoming your own CEO. And yes, no more brick and mortar for me. I have pivoted to a more softer approach to business. And I'm going to teach all of you also how to operate in peace while you are also making profit. Please do like, share, subscribe to the video, comment below, and let me know how these episodes have impacted you. Subscribe to the channel so that you can be a part of the Soft Life Legacy membership that we're about to open soon. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss an episode when we upload. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. And as always, walk good.